So working with us on retreat was one of the first times I believe that you outsourced it to someone else. So I guess my first question is, was it a big deal for you to hand over your retreat to an external team?
Yeah, it was. It was a really big deal because a retreat, especially in a hybrid work setting, especially when you have team all over the place, it's a really important moment for the team during the year, and we generally do 1 or 2 a year. So it's there's a lot of emphasis and focus on it. And this retreat in particular was at a really important time for my team, really important topic. And so there was a lot of thought and care about why we're coming together, what we're coming together about. And one of the things that I love about the way that you all design is that, and that you really pushed me on, was about standing back and experiencing it with my team at the same time, which was incredibly powerful. And also, it's a little scary to kind of let go of all of that and not be so intimately involved in all of the content and all of the design. So it definitely was a big moment. And I've used facilitators in the past on retreat, but really co-created with them in terms of like, I want you to do X. And I've more been leading the agenda and then plugging in, whereas this is a very different experience in a very positive way of giving you the guidelines and the outline of what we want to achieve, but you're creating that.
For sure. And you've talked about this a little bit, but can you go into a bit more detail about what felt different about this retreat in compared to perhaps a typical offsite or quarterly meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were very intentional with this retreat in that, sometimes an offsite or a team retreat can be focused on very tactical topics and very operational pieces, and we will for sure have a retreat this year that will be like that, where we're focused on, okay, what are our objectives for 2026? Where do we want to get to? This was much more, much deeper than that, and intended to be so, much more about, who are we? What is the impact that we want to have as a team? And so I really appreciated being guided by Hotfield in terms of let's really go off site. If we're really doing that, let's really go off and make that the whole experience. And it was so beautifully, thoughtfully put together from start to finish. And I received the most positive praise from my team about the whole experience, right from the invitation, all of the little touches along the way that enabled them to unplug and reconnect and really think deeply about what are we here to do and what's the impact and the lasting impression that we want to have as a team. So it did feel very different, not only because of the topic, but also the way in which you guided us through that topic.
I mean, it's incredibly immersive to be off site for a duration like that. There's no kind of, everybody's checked in for the whole period, aren't they? They're all in it together, and it does provide a deeper experience, which is very different. Was there a moment when you thought this is exactly what we needed?
Yeah, I think I don't know whether there was one moment. I think that there were several moments. I knew, and I had the utmost confidence in what would be delivered, but I still didn't know how it was going to be, what the experience was going to feel like. I think that there was lots of different moments where it's a little bit like being at your wedding, when you come back and you want to look across and see the experience that everybody's having. You've planned, you've thought about it carefully, and then it's starting to unfold, and you just start to see how people are acting and connecting. So I think there was a couple of places for me. On the first night, we had some introductory pieces, and there was a piece where we were sat around the fire and sharing, and that felt really powerful. And I could see just like how in the moment my team were, and the pieces that they were sharing, which were thoughtful and grounded and authentic and vulnerable. That was really powerful, and I thought, oh wow, this is going to be good. And then just like hearing and listening to the breakout groups, feeling the energy in the room, even though we were going through a lot and we did a lot of breakouts and we were moving pretty fast, I didn't feel the energy drop. It just kept coming, and that I think is a really powerful testament, because being in person, especially after being hybrid, like a lot of people working remotely, it's a very different energy for you than being remote. So I was conscious that it's asking a lot to bring people together to have in person and to then work on deep topics and do it at a pace. But I could see it just kept coming. And I think the other thing that was kind of really beautiful to see was the capture of the thoughts and what was happening through the illustration, like the power of seeing that in real time, and seeing the team kind of clock that and reflect on it. It was really powerful.
Yeah. Was there something for you personally that was very unexpected or meaningful? Rather, you've talked a lot about the team. What about you? Because as you say, part of it was you experiencing this retreat as well.
Yeah, I think the counsel from you all was wise in terms of for me not to know too much of the content, because it did allow me to really show up and experience it at the same time as the team and be in it with everybody. So I think that was I really appreciated that. As a leader, you don't always have that opportunity, right? You don't always have that opportunity to feel really in it and experiencing it at the same time as everybody else. And I think that gave me a different lens and a different outcome. So I really appreciated being able to do that. And then I think the wrap-up exercise that we did was really a really kind of powerful and grounding moment, and something that I really I was surprised by how emotional I felt about that, but also seeing that with other members of my team too.
No, it's lovely. There is something very powerful about being able to take part, because if you've been involved in the organisation in a degree of depth, you're always thinking about what's coming next, aren't you? And is this ready? Is that ready? Etc. How are people experiencing it? Whereas, you really can take part, which is beautiful. Yeah. And what would you say to another leader who's unsure about investing in a retreat like this?
Oh, I would just say do it. 100% do it. And take the opportunity to really explore what is the right topic, because I do think that is really important, and I appreciated the investment up front, which I think could for some feel heavier. Putting together a design team and having these pre-meetings, but it was so worthwhile to really land on what is the right topic. How to balance. I can be over optimistic in terms of what we can cover in time. So being pulled back and really focusing on one topic was really helpful. But I think, and especially now, especially in challenging times and in this new environment of hybrid or virtual or cross-generational teams, even if you are all in person, like there's so much dynamism in the workplace today, and team culture and team cohesiveness is only built through these kind of experiences, I think. Yes, day-to-day working, but having that time to really deeply connect as a team around a topic, and then also, just have fun and like eat together and have a bit of play together. The investment is like the return on that investment is massive. So yeah, 100% would recommend.
Thank you. No, we really appreciate working with you. The team was fantastic. They put so much in and like you say, got so much out, worked so hard, and the output was testament to that. Are there any last words you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Just that I have worked with lots of different organisations over my time. I've been in leadership roles for longer than I care to say, so that I don't give away my age. I've been leading HR teams and program activities, worked with lots of outside vendors, and you all are like top tier, top notch, really so thoughtful, bring expertise and perspective, but also really flexible, really focused on who we are as an organisation and a team, so that you could make this fit for us. So it didn't feel cookie cutter at all. It didn't feel like, whilst you have like a structure that you build around, it was so tailored, so thoughtful, so grounded in us as a team, us as an organisation. So it was really just a first class experience.
Thank you. And it's one of the reasons why we do like to go to experiential venues versus a corporate hotel, because for often the same price or maybe slightly less, you can get a really amazing off-site experience. So thank you, and we very much look forward to working with you again next year.
Me too.